Welcome to episode 31 of Let's Talk Money with Wendy Silebi. Today we are going to be talking under the subject how to plan better for Black Friday. Black Friday is around the corner. So this episode was inspired by Black Friday, and I thought, why don't I share some tips that can help us be better prepared for Black Friday. And I just want to make sure that if you have not financially prepared for it, then maybe think about the tips that I'm going to share before you go out into the stores and spend all your hard-earned money or the money that you don't even have. Maybe on a lighter note, I always love asking myself, why is it called Black Friday? Why not Yellow Friday or Pink Friday? Yes, we know, the historical context to Black Friday, but we are long past that. I think we need to change it, but that's a story for another day. So maybe let me get into it and share tip number one. If you have not saved for it, don't buy it. Every purchase that you make must be a well thought out purchase because it has a lot of financial ramification. Maybe the questions you should ask yourself before you go and buy, or when you are standing in front of the product, ask yourself, was this item included in your plans for the year? Did you budget for it? Be careful not to be drawn by the advertising. The advertising can truly make you start buying things that you really don't need because the advertisers have got a great way of catching your attention and making you, to buy outside of your budget. So some of the advertising that you will see that you need to be careful of is like they'll say limited stock, one day only. And then, when they say that, it creates a sense of urgency. Now you realize, oh, it's one day and it's limited stock. So I have to make a decision now. If I don't make this decision now, it won't be available anymore. But the truth of the matter is there will be another sale. There will be another markdown and that product will be available. So this scarcity and urgency, loss aversion drives you to have the fear of missing out, which is what they call FOMO. And you're like, oh, I'm not going to miss out on this. And then you get yourself participating in things you should not even be getting involved in. So when you've planned financially and truly you need the item and you're happy, go for it. But if you haven't, then think about tip number one. And let's go to tip number two. Don't be drawn by the price reduction. Usually the advert goes something like, was 4,000 rand, now 3,000 rand. Hey, and in your mind you're thinking, 1,000? Today the price has dropped by 1,000 rand. Oh, this is a bargain. Your excitement levels are truly heightened up by the bargain and it becomes irresistible. The question I want to ask you is, were you tracking the price of this item from the beginning of the year? Better still, this item should have been in your planning because we all know that in November we have Black Friday. So you should have, January, started tracking the price to see if indeed the price that they are now showing to you, 1,000 rand reduction, is a true reduction or if it is not. So if the answer is yes, you've been tracking the price and you are sure that you are getting 1,000 rand reduction, wow, it's a bargain. I too would buy it if I had planned for it. But if you haven't, then pause, rethink, reflect, think about the impact that it's going to have on your budget. Tip number three, don't be pulled by the crowd. This actually takes us back to tip number 1, where we were talking about FOMO, the fear of missing out. So here you are in the mall. People are running around. You see people are pushing trolleys. They are packed. Babang, maybe it's 2 to 3 trolleys. When you look to your right, others are carrying packets and packets. When you look into the stores, it's long queues. It's those advertisers. They're probably ringing the bells and everything. And you're thinking, but everybody is buying something. Now I'm going to go back to the office and I've got nothing. And then you find yourself now, coerced to buy something that you had never even thought about, because you want to belong. You want to be socially relevant. I think that is very, very dangerous. Be sure that you are not purchasing items that you don't need, because sometimes we buy them because they're on special. But when you think about it, when you get home and you look at this item, you're asking yourself, why did I even buy it? What am I going to use it for? It doesn't even match with my home decor. And then you've made the purchase and it's there. So be careful that when you see other people running around buying items, they probably have been saving since the beginning of the year for such a time as this. Or if they're buying whatever they're buying on credit, they have a plan of how they're going to pay off those items in such a way that there isn't a dent on their financial well-being. So just make sure that you have a foolproof plan of how you will pay if you are thinking of using credit, because credit has got this way, I call it the credit gluttony. The more you buy one item, then this one item invites the next and the next, and before you know it, you find yourself in debt. It was supposed to be a day where you are buying on specials, but it's a day where you are getting yourself more into debt. Think about what the purchases you are buying on credit will do to your budget in the next 2 to 3 months, because the effects don't just last for 1 month, they last for 3 months and beyond. Be careful of instant gratification. I want it now. Everybody is buying it now. Linda, I want it. And then after that, you have a long-lasting regret period of sorrow, because now everybody is on your case. They want you to pay. It's nice when you are swiping that card, but when you are supposed to pay, it's very, very painful, especially if you have not saved for it. Think about this. You've been doing well this year. You've been saving. You've been watching how and what you purchase, your money, how you use it, where you use it, with who you use it. And then all of a sudden, this one day comes. Why would you want to throw away the good plan that you've had for 9 months or 10 months and then throw it away in one day with unplanned and unwanted purchases? So maybe let me share my Black Friday strategy. Number 1, I'm staying away from the malls. I know my triggers, so I am not going to be going to any mall on Black Friday, specifically malls that have shoe stores that I love buying my shoes from. So you will not be meeting me at a mall. Tip number 2, I'm intentionally on that day not purchasing anything online. Online shopping is one of the dangers that can set your budget out of spiral, because you're sitting at the comfort of your home with your phone. You didn't have to get into the car and make an effort to go to the mall. Everything is here. They're busy sending you messages and they're saying click here so that you don't lose last 8 items, and you're thinking, let me be number 8. From the comfort of your sofa, you can mess up your budget. So I'm one of those people that will not even be looking at my phone on that particular day. What is your plan for that day? Maybe share with us here in the comments and just tell us how you will be staying safe and staying away from Black Friday, especially if you have not planned or budgeted for any of the purchases that are out there. We really would like to get your comments because I think your strategy will help us do better, or someone that is watching the podcast. To those that have planned, that have saved up since Jan or whatever month for the products that they are going to be purchasing, happy shopping. But please make sure that you stick to your budget and don't be tempted to go overboard, because the temptation is always there. After all, I've already saved 10,000. What is an additional 5,000? An additional 5,000 can do a lot of damage to the good that you already did since the beginning of the year. Exercise self-control and you'll be fine. Remember, this year's Black Friday is on the last day of the month. It is strategically placed so that the following day is the 1st of December. And as you would know it, some of these specials, they will extend them by a week or two. Don't be surprised Friday during the day, but because of popular demand, we are now extending this for an additional week. All they're saying is that we are waiting for your bonus to come in, and then you can also spend your bonus on these specials. And what happens is you are forgetting that January has got 50 weeks. It doesn't have 5 weeks, it's got 50 weeks, and you still have the festive. So by the time you reach the 16th of December, you are flat broke. You haven't paid your dues, you haven't done anything. Remember, your salary came in in the first week of December. You'll get the next salary on the last week of January. So start thinking along those lines. Be careful how you use your bonus and how you spend this Black Friday. Well, that's it. I'm hoping that the tips that I've shared will better prepare you. If I were you, if I haven't planned, do not even go past a mall. Just stay at home. Think of something rewarding that you can do, like the garden, or something positive, something that will not need you to go into your bank account. Until next time, thank you for watching the podcast. And I'd also just like to say thank you for liking, for commenting, for sharing with other people, and for subscribing. Watch out for the next episode, because I'll be back with tips on how to survive the festive season.